Hello and welcome to Teretonga, the FIA's southernmost circuit in the world. As this week we've travelled to the South Island to Invercargill for round 4 of the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Championship. As the drivers and teams prepare for the 4th weekend in a row of racing, the fight for the championship is very much on. And the question remains, can anybody stop Britain's hard-charging Arvid Lindblad, who's won all 3 feature races so far? And remember, all these tracks are new to him. So let's take a closer look at his next challenge, Teretonga. Teretonga Park is just 2.57 kilometres and only 7 corners, but it may be easy on paper but tough in reality. Turn 1, very long indeed, and turn 7 are the key corners to get right.
With such a short lap around here, all the drivers will effectively get a few extra laps to be able to set their best time.
Lindblad goes quickest with a 54.3. Zagazzetta currently in second place with a 54.5.
Yeah, great job by Lindblad there, and obviously Zagazzetta as well. I feel like we haven't seen the most out of him yet.
That fastest lap record, 53.5.
Oh, that's already a moment.
Oh, that was a moment for Nikita. He is going to be pushing it, but that is Lawley. Lawley, the Canadian. Thankfully, he's got it going, the 88. Here's what happened.
Oh, that's a decent hit on the tyres as well, so the fact he stayed out there.
Well, good improvement by Oceania of Australia. 54.1, his personal best. Moves him to 3rd ahead of Nikita Johnson in 4th. 3 minutes to go. Time running out. Arvid Lindblad still setting the pace with that 53.7. Can Zagazzetta? Not this time. And Lawley's off again. Well, he'll need a 6 render car if he keeps this up. Oceania looking to try to improve. He's dropped to 4th now, as it's now Lindblad, Zagazzetta, Nikita Johnson in 3rd place. Oceania at 4th, Pearson in 5th. 53.7 is the time set by Lindblad, waiting to see if anybody can improve on his time. Can't see it happening. It's set for perhaps this man, Schooler, the other man in contention for the championship. He's 6th at the moment. Does he improve? No. It's the Brit, once again, Arvid Lindblad with a 53.7, who takes the pole ahead of Zagazzetta. Nikita Johnson and Oceania on row 2, Josh Pearson and Zach Schooler on row 3. Michael Shin, Enzo Ye, 7th and 8th, Tommy Smith, 9th, Sebastian Manson in 10th, and Nicholas Stati is 11th, Crosby 12th, Sean Rashid in 13th, Nicholas Montiero in 14th, Jet Bowling in 15th, and Barrett Wolf and James Lawley round out the top 17.
Becoming a bit of a regular thing, mate. Congratulations, only guy in the 53s. Describe your laps.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. So far this week, the team have been really amazing. The car today was on rails. I couldn't ask for anything better, so full credit to them. I think we made a bit of a step forward this week compared to the last 3, and yeah, the team did a mega job, so very, very thankful to them.
What do you make of this track?
I think it's a great track. It's a bit too short, but the corners that we have are really cool, and it's the first time in the whole championship so far we have a bit of high speed that you can go in with a bit of commitment, which is really nice. So.
Any particular corners that you're finding difficulty with, or challenging, or just loving it?
No, I've been enjoying them all. I think turn 1, just the sort of ability to, the amount of speed you can carry in is impressive. So to be really on the limit of the car and the entry there whilst it's moving is not easy, but other than that, it's very enjoyable to drive.
Zagazzetta has an opportunity now. He knows the data, he'll have looked at it, they know what his setup is, and Nikita Johnson likewise in 3rd. 2nd in the championship, remember, the young 16-year-old. Out go the lights and away we go, and a good start from Zagazzetta. He's got a flyer, the Peruvian. Well, put the coffee on, here we go. Lindblad's been beaten to the 1st corner, and Lindblad takes 2nd, but that was superb stuff off the line by Zagazzetta.
Yeah, Nikita Johnson has also snuck into 3rd place here as well, but what a start by Matthias Zagazzetta to take the race lead.
Manson going around the outside, the long way round, but already Zagazzetta got a car length on Lindblad. Really impressive start. Nikita Johnson still in 3rd. Oceania 4th. Schooler up to 5th at the start. Josh Pearson, those famous stars still aren't helping him. He drops a place.
So everything starts to settle down for this first lap. Everyone finding their position. Cold tyres makes it harder into the braking zone into this last corner here before they line themselves up for the massive long straight from the slowest corner on the track onto the massive long straight down into turn 1 again.
Yeah, this is where if you do set a low downforce, you're going to get speed. And look at Zagazeta. He is going 58.8 from a standing start. Brilliant stuff. Lindblad will follow him across the line with 59.4. But that was a brilliant start by the young Peruvian who's got FIA F3 experience. And he too wants some limelight. Nikita Johnson has the target of the Red Bull man in front of him. The man second in the championship by 40 points, remember. If he can stop Lindblad here and just get a few more points and eke out that going into race 2, it's all bets off. Remember, Zagazeta yet to have a win, and he's now 0.7 of a second ahead of Lindblad, so he's eking out in every lap. He's just at the fastest lap again, a 54.2. Here's Schooler in the middle of this 3, in 5th place at the moment, and we've got to keep an eye on Zach after that race 1 win at Topor. He is still very much in the hunt with Nikita to chase Lindblad. Huizenrode made some last-minute adjustments too. Schooler, though, getting very close at the moment. This is a really good battle between the Australian and the Kiwi. And, of course, there's a trophy for the top Antipodean. And there's also a chance that Schooler can wrap up the rookies title here this weekend. It's mathematical at the moment. In other words, a lot of things have got to go right for him, but he's in a good position.
And it is motorsport. We've seen other things happen over the years and how championships do unfold just when you think you've got it all tied up. So that'll be the last thing on his mind at the moment. He'll be still wanting to fight for that outright championship. That's the one that matters to all of them. And then the one on the back of that is, again, that New Zealand Grand Prix win as well, as the minds will be starting to switch to that for a lot of the drivers too.
You know, and Huizenrode currently in 4th position, and that would move him past Pearson in the title chase. So it's going to really be nice heading to that final round for Huizenrode. So Zagazeta going about his job very well indeed, but Lindblad has just put in the fastest lap of the race at 54.162. So he is just incrementally taking the gap now down to 0.6 of a second. Zagazeta looking for his 2nd win on the season. Remember, a race winner at Topor in race 2. And Zagazeta definitely fired up. I spoke to him earlier in the weekend, and he really, like a lot of the drivers, he really enjoys this track. It's not many corners. It's not, on paper, difficult to look at, but it's a real challenge, and a lot of high-speed corners and rhythm. You've got to have rhythm. You've got to have flow. You miss one corner, you talk about a mistake, and it all goes horribly wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and it's so hard to piece it all together. You've just got to be on your game the whole lap. The car's got to be so good around here because you need that confidence through the high-speed parts of the track. Just as this race starts ticking on and we're getting past the halfway point, it's nearly to the point now. I feel like Lindblad there is starting to close the gap and starting to put a bit more pressure on Zagazeta there.
Oh, that's not good for Michael Shin.
My car broke. I don't know what went wrong.
He's gone off reasonably quickly there, so whether or not there's been some sort of issue going on to have that happen. Safety car, as we can see from our commentary position here, starting to make its way out onto the track, but
no surprise. Oh, a puncture.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Go.
So we'll just have another look. So through here is going to be a real telltale if the car snaps sideways at any stage. Ah, look at that. He's clipped something on the exit of that turn.
That was the puncture.
And that's exactly what would have created the puncture.
What is it? Oh, it's a brick that's come up. That's what's come up. It's popped out. No wonder. That would give you a puncture. Those are sharp. So they are struggling to drag that car away, and we're 19 of the 25. I said 4 laps. We'll be lucky, won't we?
Yeah, especially with that brick out like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up just calling this one and having a rethink and getting that situation sorted, because there's obviously a safety issue around that.
I can
brick
confirm
and,
the race won't commence.
Yeah, and I'd say that's to do, and that's a great job by the team to have that right in mind to not restart. There's a safety issue that needs to be readdressed.
Yeah, you can't leave it like that. They have to get out there. Yeah. And confirmation of that result then. Zagazeta of Peru takes his 2nd win of the season. Arvid Lindblad of Great Britain 2nd. The USA's Nikita Johnson takes the Patrick Huizenrode of Australia 4th, Zach Schooler of New Zealand 5th, Josh Pearson of the States in 6th, Sebastian Manson, local boy from New Zealand, in 7th, Enzo Ye of Chinese Taipei, he is in 8th, Tommy Smith is 9th from Australia, and Alex Crosby from Invercargill right down the road here in 10th position, and Nicholas Monteiro. Good result for Monteiro. That's a better result, 11th. And Statty moving up the board bit by bit, the young Australian who is in his first season. Jet Bowling finishes 13th. Sean Rashid in 14th place. Barrett Wall 15th. James Lawley 16th. And Michael Shin, with that puncture, is a DNF.
Well, congratulations, race win number 2 in the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Championship to Matthias Zagazeta. Take that one.
Yeah, well, for sure. I mean, it's a bit annoying to finish under the red flag, of course. But yeah, I think it was a fantastic race. I had a good start, and then the pace was super strong compared to everyone. Arvid was staying quite close behind, so it was a question about not making any mistakes, and I think we did a good job.
How satisfying. The last win was in race 2 in Taupo. That was a reverse grid race. This time you lead from the front.
Yeah, well, it was great. I mean, we had really tough weekends in round 2 and round 3, so to come back here and refresh mentally as well, it's really good. And I think I'm quite happy with the job we've done on track and off track as well. And thanks, of course, to the whole team for the fantastic job.
Everybody's been talking about Arvid. So is it satisfying to beat Arvid and just gain some, you know, psych?
Well, I mean, it's fantastic, of course, to have a driver like Arvid. He really pushes everyone, and it's fantastic to have him in the team as well. So it's good to have racing against him.
Congratulations on race win number 2.
Thank you.
So a second win of the series for the Peruvian Zagazeta as he flaps his wings with joy to celebrate and gets himself back into contention. Now, after the break, it's the reverse top 8 for race 2. Join us after this. Welcome back to Teretonga and round 4 of the championship. And as the drivers warm up for race 2, there's time to catch up with a young 18-year-old from America who's really made his mark down in New Zealand as Greg Rust catches up with Indy Next driver Josh Pearson.
Welcome. You have really made the most of your time here in New Zealand. Tell us about fly fishing and some of the things you've been doing in between events.
Yeah, so I arrived obviously a little bit early before Taupo. And my dad is a fisherman back home. He loves fishing, and it's been a hobby of mine, but more spin casting. And so before this trip, he was telling me, he's like, oh my God, you know, there's some people that would give an arm and a leg to go fly fishing in New Zealand. He's like, we have to go fly fishing. And I was like, yeah, but I don't know how to fly fish. So I've been spin casting my whole life, but yeah, he bought me a fly rod before we left, and I sat in my backyard for a while with him and actually took a lesson before I left. So yeah, I learned to fly fish and then showed up in New Zealand and caught a few trout on a fly rod. So that's been fun and a good way to spend some time in the beautiful weather here.
Terrific. It gets you, I guess, in the right mindset for all of this. We're at the midpoint of things as you and I talk here. How is it going? Do you feel like there's more to give? What's the sort of state of play from your point of view?
Yeah, I think it's been really solid. You know, this is a series that I've had on my radar and wanted to be a part of since I think 2020, when I basically made the jump to cars. It was something that I'd kind of kept track of and was just looking for the right time to do it. Unfortunately, with the more heavily focused sports car years I had in 22 and 23, and then even in 21, it just didn't really make sense for us. So it wasn't something I got to go do. But after struggling in Indy Next last year for a full year, and I told my dad, I was like, I really want to go do this. And if it sacrifices maybe some sports car opportunities I would have had this year, that's fine. I want to focus on the sports car side. I want to make it to IndyCar, and so I said, let's go do this, and hopefully it'll be a good progression into the Indy next year. I think for us, it's very much been successful. I brought my engineer from HMD, Alex Vetti. So I thought it was a good way for us to kind of start working together early. Even if he knows the car already, he's worked with it before, but even if he hadn't, I think it's just a good way to jump in together and go over the same systems that we're going to be using and applying. So we're doing things slightly differently than maybe the team is every time we get off the track, but for us it's a warm-up for Indy Next, and it's a great way to strengthen the bond between the two of us ahead of our season.
Louis Foster, Jacob Abel, Callum Hedge, they've all come through this, and then you know them now from an Indy Next standpoint. Clearly match fitness and even qualifying, this has to be good for season 2025 for you, doesn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. And I spoke to those guys. I spoke to Louis and Jacob and Callum about this series. and asked them. I said, is this something that you think would be good for me? They were, very, very open about the series and how good they thought it was from a learning perspective. And it's effectively a full season of what USF Pro 2000 would be in the States. So I think there's a lot of really good learning here for me and a lot to work on myself, and it's given me that opportunity to progress and be that much better when I jump in the States.
When you look at your CV, I mean, what are you now, 18 years of age? You have done a lot, really, in a relatively short period of time, if you think of it from a trajectory standpoint, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been accelerated quite fast in my career, straight from USF 2000 in the States, which I guess would more be F4. It's our version of F4, and I went straight from that to LMP2 cars in the World Endurance Championship in IMSA. So very, very big step, and I really owe that all to my driver coach Steven Simpson and my family. Had some amazing moments, and I think especially on the endurance side, having such a strong career so far there has really helped kind of get my name out there and give me maybe a little bit of a better track record coming into series like this.
You have overcome a few things as well, and one of them is it was a bit of a unique, almost phobia of starts when you're in karting, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just had a lot of bad crashes on starts. I ended up on my head a lot in a go-kart, and more than I would like to admit. It was 3 times, I think, and that's a lot for most karters. So yeah, I was pretty terrified of starts, and it took a while to overcome. I went to sports psychology, and yeah, I owe a lot to my karting mechanic, Aaron Nelson. He worked with me for 12 plus years. So to come out the other side and be on better ground now, I think, yeah, I owe a lot to him, and definitely had to overcome that kind of challenge and get back into a better headspace.
Clearly, you have massively overcome it. Can I finish with a thought on MTech, who you've been with, and you talked about the shift in focus back to single-seaters again, how this helps you on that path now.
The majority of guys that come into the series, it's the first time. I think they're jumping in the car for the first time, new tracks for the first time, and so it's a very level playing field. And you get guys coming from all over. You've got Lindblad here, we had Will Brown as well the first 2 rounds. So you've got guys from all different disciplines and different forms of racing, and it shows you, where you stand in the mix, and I really love that about it. But MTech has done a fantastic job, and I think that working my way into this series and using it as a progression for Indy Next is fantastic. I think there's no better way to start my year as far as I'm concerned from what I've experienced so far.
It's not the full tour, I know, but you have made the most of it. Thanks for being with us, and enjoy the rest of it, and a great year in the United States. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, guys.
Let's take a look at the reverse top 8 grid led by Enzo Ye. Sebastian Manson alongside him from New Zealand. Josh Pearson starts on the 2nd row, referring to his engineer Alex, who sets up the car. Zach Skula alongside him in 4th. Patrick Huizenrode 5th of Australia. Nikita Johnson of the USA in 6th. Then it's Lindblad and Matthias Zagazeta of Peru. Lindblad from Great Britain. Tommy Smith, Australia. Alex Crosby from Invercargill here in New Zealand. Nicholas Monteiro of Brazil and Nicholas Stati of Australia. Jet Bowling of the USA. Likewise, Sean Rashid and Barrett Wolf, who starts 15th. James Lawley of Canada in 16th. He's one of the rookies here. And Michael Shin starts 17th, the South Korean. Lights on! Out go the lights, away we go. Manson gets a flyer. Away goes Sebastian Manson, and that is the perfect start from the front row. Now that Enzo Ye trying to defend from Skula. Skula, though, gets a nose ahead, but he's on the outside. He might get hung out to dry. No, he slots back in. Great start from Skula and Manson. And now Pearson all over, and Huizenrode all over Enzo Ye, and not the start he wanted. Gravel being thrown up, but somebody hits the dirt and grass and hopefully comes out. No, Lawley has hit bowling. And that has skittled both of them.
Oh, it looked like what happened there is Lawley just got onto the grass on the inside and then shot back left across the track and then collected bowling there as well. So
yeah,
real shame for those guys. So
safety car is out. Yeah, now I feel for them. They're teammates, of course, and so they've been travelling and being with each other, but the front nose cone has gone and the front wing has gone from Lawley's car. But yeah, that was just, it was an accident waiting to happen. Somebody went wide in front of Lawley. Lawley got, his vision mixed. He went even further wide, and then when he came back on, he just banged into poor old Jet Bowling, who was pretty much an innocent bystander in that. Yeah, thumbs up, that's good to see from the Canadian. Now, now. Look to the back of the field. Watch Lawley get unsighted here. Look. And he almost bangs into Rashid, who'd gone wide, and then sort of puts the brake on. That put him into a spin, and then Bowling just gets caught up in it. We'll see it clearer here.
I reckon what's happened as well is because Rashid's also on the grass, he's had no option but to turn left, and then that's what's fired him across the track over towards Bowling. So a bit of a concertina sort of effect, and a real shame for both Bowling and for Lawley as well. So we've got the safety car lights out.
That means we're going racing. Manson now putting the field right behind him, and he'll come out of that elbow and then go hell-bent for leather. And he goes in pursuit. Is Zach Schooler in second place now? Can the other Kiwi get ahead? Huizenrode sits third. Enzo Ye fourth. Then Pearson. Then Zagazzetta. Here comes Lindblad on Zagazzetta, side by side. He's going to keep his foot in and slots back in. Just holds on, and that's a mighty move around the outside, just like Schooler did at the start. Lindblad said he was going to use the outside, and he did.
Oh, Seb Manson just a little bit wide into turn one. It's not going to mean he'll lose position, as we do have three wide.
Statty, come back. Oh, he can't get it back. Oh, he has. Well, that was a lucky save by the little Aussie. And
he's got his foot in it. He's trying to keep it moving so it doesn't beach itself.
Unfortunately, he has beached it. That's probably going to be another safety car because he's in harm's way there. So you've got Shin, Tommy on the inside and Statty on the outside, and really just he couldn't get closer in, could he? So he just got hung out to dry a little bit. Here's the restart then. Sebastian Manson leads them across the start-finish on lap 13. Schooler looks to the inside.
Lindblad is already right up and behind Pearson. Is he going to try the same move in the background?
Yes,
he's trying it.
Yes, he is. Oh, and Enzo Ye is slowing it all down a little bit, and Lindblad has to pull out. Brave move, though.
Oh, he had to go. I could see the run that he got out of the last corner. I knew exactly what he would have been planning, but not quite this time. Got caught out in the dirty stuff.
Yeah, Pearson also trying to get past Enzo Ye, who hasn't had a good race. Started from pole, down in fourth, and it looks as though Pearson is trying to get the hurry up on him and trying to get up past him as quickly as possible because he knows Lindblad's coming, and they're all piling in behind him. There's Barrett Wolf at the back. Here comes Pearson again on Enzo.
Pearson having to go defensive, but then at the same time thinks of a move on Enzo. So with this as well, it kind of cements the fact that Enzo hadn't put greens on for this one because he doesn't.
Here he goes again. Lindblad jinks out down the straight, gets side by side with Pearson. Is he a nose ahead? Yes, he is. Now he who dares wins, and Lindblad's got him. Arvid Lindblad, not yet. Pearson keeps his foot in. Brake driving by the 18-year-old. Wow, that's it. Great stuff.
Great driving by both drivers there to run wheel to wheel like that on a seriously fast part of the track. Just noticed a different line for those two on the way into that turn one there. Seb Manson just seems a little bit wider on entry. Whether or not he's struggling with a little bit of understeer on the way into there, but he's certainly running a bit wider. He doesn't want to get caught too wide there because he ended up in the marbles, as well as he's starting to become under even more pressure from Zach Schooler here.
Well, now you can see the gap from above that Enzo is away from this leading trio. And Schooler still pushing on. The lap times, like you say, have kind of evened out a little bit, but of course the tyre will be going off. It won't be at its optimal now as Manson dives into the final corner one more time. Schooler right there. Let's have a look as they cross the line this time to see if there's any improvement from any of the top three in terms of times. Huizenrode set his fastest time of 54.3 last time out. And again, fastest lap for Sebastian Manson, his personal best of 54.3. But Pearson goes quickest with a 54.2. Interestingly enough, live driver standings, Andrew, sees Schooler on 2:31 equal with Nikita Johnson. That makes it interesting.
It certainly does. That battle for second place is starting to heat up with only 4.5 races remaining in this championship.
Last lap then. Here we go. And Huizenrode looks and jinks to the inside for a moment. This is as close as he's been.
Yeah, just put his car in the mirror of Zach Schooler there to try and get him to look to the inside, try and force him into a little mistake to run wide. But drivers at this level do not make mistakes often.
No, and Huizenrode has the accolade of probably doing the most overtakes of the season so far. Hasn't been able to do it in this race per se, but he's another solid third, another podium. He's one of those guys that's just got better and better as the weeks have gone on. Well, of course, Sebastian's father will be watching. He races as well this weekend. His younger brother races in kart still. But today, it's all about Sebastian Manson as he comes across the line. Tim Neff delighted with that, as will all of M2 competition. A brilliant win by him. Zach Schooler takes another second place and gets edging closer to that rookie championship. Sebastian Manson taking the win over Zach Schooler, Patrick Huizenrode third, Enzo Ye fourth, Josh Pearson, Arvid Lindblad sixth, did make a great move around the outside. Matthias Zagazeta of Peru seventh, Nikita Johnson eighth, Michael Shin ninth, Alex Crosby 10th, and Tommy Smith in 11th. Further down, Monteiro, Sean Rashid, Barrett Wolf, and sadly, Stati, Bowling, and Lawley, all three Kiwi drivers not able to finish the race.
Sebastian Manson, congratulations. Your second race win in the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Championship. Well raced.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I mean, you had pressure from Zach straight from the bat, right? And you had that at the restart as well. Was there nerves coming off the restart?
Not too bad. Just sort of needed to keep it calm and just make sure I do a proper restart and follow all the rules.
A couple of times there was a little bit of a shimmy going through some of the corners. Were you aware of the pressure that Zach was putting on you, or were you just eyes forward?
Yeah, to be fair, I was aware of the pressure, but it was eyes forward most of the race, just trying to keep it clean, calm, not try to overheat the rear tyre or damage the front tyre.
Done a good job. Another race win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's Manson's second win of the series, as the Kiwi teenager is following in the footsteps of so many New Zealand stars before him. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, it's the feature race of the weekend coming up. Welcome back to round four's coverage of the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Championship. Now, the feature race is the longest race of each weekend, and it also has its own qualifying to decide the grid. Let's see who shone on Sunday morning. Well, certainly one of the most consistent drivers of the championship and very good at learning new tracks is the young 16-year-old Nikita Johnson of Florida. His 53.517 was good enough for a second row start and third on the grid. Another man who masters new circuits well is our current championship leader, Arvid Lindblad of Great Britain, who put in a 53.293 to take the front row start, but not pole position. Instead, that was the honor of his teammate from Peru, Matthias Zagazeta, who stormed to a 53.274 to take the pole, take the fight to Arvid Lindblad. Pole position then for Peru.
Well, congratulations, Matthias. First and foremost, the fastest ever lap by an FT60 here at Teretonga by 3/10. Just came together, did it?
Yeah, well, it just kept getting better and better throughout the whole session. I kept pushing. We expected the peak actually to come a lot earlier, but it just kept getting better. So I kept trying to do a good lap after lap after lap until the end. And yeah, the lap just came together. I felt it was pretty good, so pretty happy.
Are you guys at your lowest downforce setting?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't know. I mean, we've been trying a lot of things with the car, and the team has done a fantastic job. So I think the car was spot on now in qualifying as well.
Do you feel like you're in the zone? A win yesterday, you've been practice times are good. Do you feel like you're there or thereabouts?
Yeah, for sure. I feel great this weekend. I think it's been a good weekend overall. Just really happy that the results are finally paying off.
As we go on the formation lap, let's just remind ourselves of the grid for this final feature race. The Spirit of a Nation trophy up for grabs. Zagazeta starts pole. Arvid Lindblad wants another trophy. He starts alongside Nikita Johnson and Michael Shin on road 2. Huizenrode and Smith, the two Aussies, 5th and 6th. Then it's Sebastian Manson on home soil. He won, his dad won, everybody's winning. Josh Pearson in 8th position. Schooler could win the rookies if he does well in this one. Monteiro alongside him. Then it's Stati and Crosby, the Aussie and the Kiwi. Enzo Ye starts 13th. Sean Rashid of the USA 14th. Jet Bowling has got the car back together again, and alongside him, James Lawley, who's also had his car prepared again by Kiwi, and Barrett Wolf starts at the back. Lights go on. And out they go, and a good start from both Lindblad and Zagazeta. It's going to be a real drag race to that first corner. Zagazeta's got the advantage by the fact that he's an overtake.
He's done it again around the outside of turn 1 into the lead of the race.
Fantastic stuff. Well, he did say he might try it. I didn't think he was going to get there, but finally he's done it. And Zagazzetta settles for second place. Nikita Johnson is in third. Huizenrode fourth. Field already spreading out, and Lindblad is off to the races. He wants another trophy.
We did hear him say on the grid he is going to send it, and he did exactly that.
Oh, trouble here for Stati as Enzo Ye and Monteiro of Brazil
Safety
gang up on him. Safety car is out. Somebody's off. Ah, sadly, it's bowling again.
Oh, he's in the wall as well.
That's a big
Same
off.
corner. That's a huge blow. The right-hand side of the car as well. This guy just cannot catch a break.
Yeah, it looks to me, because he was quite close to the back anyway, and it might have been an unsighting situation or just getting a little too wide, getting a wheel onto the dirt and dust, and once you're on there, it's sort of nowhere to go. And so you can see he's literally going to have to get craned out of there. Green light waves, and away we go again on lap 5. It'll be the start of lap 6 when we cross the line. And Lindblad of Great Britain leads the way yet again. And he has stolen a march for sure. Away from Zagazzetta. Third place Shin, still looking to get past if he can. Here comes Tommy Smith on Manson. Whoa, nice little racing battle between those two.
Covered it off nicely, but that restart. Arvid Lindblad pulling a gap straight away.
Schooler with work to do. Remember, he's still very much in the hunt. He's second in the championship on 2:31. Side-by-side action there for a moment. And that was Schooler, in fact. The gap between Lindblad and Zagazzetta already 0.8.
Oh, nearly 3 wide. We know how skinny this track is, as has been commented how many times.
Breathe in, Monteiro. Oh, and they're still at it. Well, Stati has proved he's not frightened of going side-by-side, and the young 16-year-old up against the young Brazilian. That was good racing, and they both made it through somehow. What do you look at when you see someone like Lindblad? How's his style as a racing driver?
It's the no mistakes, and the consistency is the most important part. Every driver in this field is good enough on their day to be running up the front of the field, but it's how they keep doing it and doing it again. And I know I've said it earlier in the season, but just the way from round 1 he wasn't out front and winning, and the way that Arvid was able to sort of piece that together and build himself up to be where he is now. Was Michael Shin putting pressure on Zagazzetta there now?
He shouldn't more than pressure. He's gone past him. That was a mistake. That was a missed gear or something from Zagazzetta, because Shin has just gone flying through. I saw that too. He was alongside when we saw the back of that shot, didn't he?
Yeah, something strange there. And now Zagazzetta seems under all sorts of pressure from behind.
Huizenrode, yeah, I don't know what's happened, but Zagazzetta is either got some sort of mechanical issue and is struggling, because Shin is pulling away and Huizenrode is about to attempt to overtake on him, and Nikita Johnson fancies a bit of it too, so too Pearson just behind.
Last lap time between Arvid Lindblad and Michael Shin was exactly the same, so that gap is sort of stabilizing at the 3-second mark. So this is where Lindblad is able to just sit out front and control the race from here. He doesn't need to press on and build a massive gap for no reason. He's best to just look after those tires, not stress anything. But that's sometimes the case when you're out front like this and you're not over driving. You actually end up still pulling a gap. The amount of times that you've been out in front and you've got your engineers saying, look after the tires, you don't need to pull a bigger gap, and you're going, I'm doing that, I'm looking after everything, but you're still pulling a gap. That is just the best feeling, and you're just able to keep capitalizing on that over and over.
Well, we've just heard from the pits that there's nothing wrong with Zagazzetta's car. He just made a mistake, we think. Schooler at the moment is sitting in the bird seat when it comes to winning that rookie's trophy, because he's ahead of Enzo Ye, the only man that can stop him. And that would be a great story. And what a fairy tale it's been for young Zach Schooler. What an arrival on the international scene.
Yeah, it's done exactly what it has set out to do, this championship. It's all about finding the next world champion, New Zealand's next world champion, and this is exactly where Zach Schooler's heading. He's done some great things. We didn't know who he was coming into this championship, and he is now destined for some great things. Obviously, he's not quite where he'd want to be, considering where we saw him at the first couple of rounds, but when we get to Highlands, hopefully a bit of a reset and get his head down. He knows he can do it. He knows he can be there. So back onto that point where we're talking about drivers out front, you can see his hands there on the wheel. He's still working the wheel super hard. So in the middle there, he's just trying to turn it in and he's balancing the rear. So he's turning and a little bit of understeer at that point. And then again, you see that snap, the car's snapped in the rear just as he's gone back for the throttle. And that's knife edge stuff. He's right on the edge of driving that car to its absolute limit. So he's certainly not just cruising around there holding that lead. He's still pushing on.
So then, Lindblad, 2.9 seconds now. So again, Shin just a little bit here, taking with 5 laps to go, a little bit of time out of the leader, but I don't think he's in any worry. I always say if you've got a 2-second plus lead, which he does, then really you're in control of the race.
As that gap has definitely settled around that 3-second gap. It's actually closed down a little bit. The last lap, Michael Shin has actually taken 2/10 out of Arvid Lindblad, so that gap is now back under 3 seconds. I'm wondering, let's just keep an eye on it for the next couple of laps as to whether or not maybe Arvid's tyres are just starting to go off that a little bit more. I don't think he's going to come under pressure with only 5 laps to go, but
there's Shin.
Let's just keep an eye on these laps as they start coming across the start-finish line. 54.3 was Lindblad's last lap. 54.4, so he's gone slower than the lap before, and then Shin comes across the line.
Just a little bit quicker again, 2.8 now.
So he is closing that gap down just a little bit. Maybe Arvid knows about a little lap record by another Red Bull driver, Liam Lawson, that maybe he's been attacking and burnt the tyres off trying to achieve.
Maybe. I think your theory is correct. Lindblad's fastest time, 0.184 shy of the lap record, which was 53.820 and still is with Liam Lawson from 2020. And of course, he would love to have got that. But it doesn't matter. Final lap then, and he's going to have 4 trophies in his bag by the end of this lap if he keeps going on this. I've never seen such dominance in my 14 years of coming here. When it comes to the feature races, he is unstoppable at the moment. He comes out of the last corner, and it's plain sailing ahead. There's nobody in front of you, sir, except that checkered flag and the team to wade him through. M2 competition win again with Arvid Lindblad of Great Britain, and another trophy, his 4th in a row, as he wins the 4th feature race. Spirit of a Nation Cup, and the spirit is very much alive with M2 competition. Lindblad of Great Britain, shy of the lap record, but that doesn't matter. He's got another trophy. Michael Shin gets on the podium in 2nd place, Sakazeta 3rd, Huizenrode of Australia 4th, Nikita Johnson 5th, Josh Pearson in his last race here in New Zealand in 6th, Sebastian Manson rounds out a good weekend for the Manson family in 7th, Schooler 8th, Tommy Smith 9th, Crosby 10th, Sean Rashid is 11th, and then it's Nicholas Stati, Nicholas Montiero, Enzo Ye, James Lawley, Barrett Wolf, and sadly, Jet Bowling, again, not able to finish the race.
Promised us you'd send it at the first turn, and you sent it. That must have been so satisfying. That was ripper.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, Matthias gave me a lot of room, and it was good racing. Probably I wouldn't be as kind as he was, but yeah, I took the opportunity, and yeah, I mean, we've seen in the past 2 races that it's hard to pass around here, and it needs to be done in the beginning. The start was okay, but it wasn't enough, and so yeah, I took the risk in turn 1 and made the move stick.
When you get into that position and knowing you're pretty much in control of the race, what do you spend the next 29 laps thinking about and doing?
Well, I was trying to be consistent, trying to build the gap. The car wasn't super easy to drive. It was good, but it wasn't easy. So I had to be really on my toes the last 15 laps. But yeah, no, it was still good enough to get the job done.
Mate, you make it look easy. It's annoying to watch, but joyous to watch at the same time. You've got one more round to go. What are the targets? Do you set yourself targets?
I mean, we'll see. I mean, Highlands is going to be a completely different track. I've heard a lot of great things, so I'm really excited to go there. It's going to be a bit longer of a lap, so that's also going to be nice. But yeah, we'll see. I'm really looking forward to it and hopefully trying to win some more races.
Trust us, you're going to love it. Congratulations on another win.
Thank you very much.
All right, in P2, pretty happy about this one too. Where's Michael Shin? Michael, congratulations. I believe a trip to Bluff earlier this week. You must have had some nice cuisine because it's paid off. How satisfying was that result?
I think it was so satisfying for me because last weekend the Manfield was super difficult. You know, we betted on dry tires in race 2 and it started raining, and overall it was a bad weekend for me, and to jump back this weekend and have a good result like this, you know, I can't ask for anything better.
Second year here in the CTFROC, or how much better of a driver do you think you are knowing the tracks?
Definitely I have an advantage in that regard, but I do have to say that this year the field is so competitive. You know, it's taken a level up from last year and the margins are so close.
Having fun still?
Of course.
Congratulations on P2.
Thank you so much.
And in P3, Matthias Zagazzetta, probably a little bit disappointed in the result. A little mistake opened the door.
Yeah, well, I mean, anyways, from the start, like Arvid said, I was too kind. Next time I will not be so kind. Yeah, it was pretty disappointing for me. I made a mistake in turn 1 as well, but anyways, the pace was not really there, so yeah, just need to keep working.
Does it take a while to let that frustration get out of the way once you know you've made that mistake and just get your head down and eyes forward?
Yeah, well, I was trying to push, but anyways, I think the pace was quite similar between the 3 of us, so it's all about track position, and yeah, I think I know what I need to work. Anyways, it's a podium, so it's pretty positive comparing the last weekend, so yeah, we need to take it.
Congratulations, you did the job. How does this feel?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. You know, rookie champion in my first year, you know, it was what we're trying to do. You know, I beat a lot of my expectations so far this season, and you know, we have one more round to go, so let's see what we can do there.
Well, enjoy this moment because you're going to love Highlands.
Thank you so much.
So our first champion is crowned as Zach Schooler of New Zealand, who'd never seen or raced any of these tracks before, claims his first major international trophy as the top rookie of the season, with 3 races to spare. This young 17-year-old has a huge future ahead of him. Finally, let's take a look at the championship standings after 4 rounds, and it sees Arvid Lindblad of Great Britain move to 3:12. Nikita Johnson of the USA and M2 has 2:53. Schooler, after winning the rookies, is third with 2:47. Then Huizenroder of Australia on 2:29. Pearson is fifth. Zagazzetta, after a great weekend, moves to 6 on 2:10. Then it's Sebastian Manson after that win. He's 7th on 185. Then it's Michael Shin of South Korea, Enzo Ye of Chinese Taipei 9th, and Sean Rashid of the USA and M-Tech Motorsport on 109. Still a big battle, though, for the top 10, and it includes Crosby, Monteiro, Tommy Smith, Nicholas Stati, Jet Bowling in 16th, and Barrett Wolf in 17th place. 3 more races to go. We'll see you at Highlands.